content is king. I don't believe that you can produce too much content because there's all these filters and things like that. And if you put enough out there, more people will see it. Welcome to the Matt Laricy Project. This week, the Matt Laricy Group team member joining us is Catherine Halbrook. Catherine, how are we doing today?
Good, thank you.
Did I get the last name right?
A little bit better, but it's still not right.
Okay, we're getting close.
I worked for him for 6 years. He never can pronounce my last name.
I can't.
It's
Really ridiculous. So, episode 22 is with Stanley Cup winner Brent Sopel. Brent, thanks for being with us today.
Appreciate you having me down.
Brent, give us a little background. How did you come to Chicago? Have you always been living here?
You know, I was, my nickname is Samsonite playing in the NHL. I always had to have my bags packed because I got traded all the time. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
I played in a lot of teams and actually was in Detroit at training camp and signed a deal early October 2007. And that's how I landed here, and here we are today.
So now you're in Chicago, and you originally grew up in Canada on a farm, right?
Yeah, God's country, that is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you're a big fan of riding the tractor, I heard.
Yeah,
right?
I still got my tractor up in Yorkville, and I miss the old the farm around.
Do you have a tractor here?
Yeah,
do you have a tractor?
When I won the Stanley Cup, I had my tractor. We had the Stanley Cup with me, and I drove around town with my tractor.
Like on the street?
Yeah. I'll show you pictures.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
So you're driving the tractor around Hinsdale, and so you
People
grew up.
probably love it.
So you grew up on a farm, and how did you go from being a kid on a farm to playing hockey? Because to me, that doesn't kind of go together.
Well, in hockey, in Canada, go to hand in hand. But Canada's national sport. You know what that is?
Hockey?
Nope.
Farming?
Lacrosse.
I was going to say rugby. I think I knew it was
So there you go.
See,
anytime you want to make money, there's a bet you'll win 10 out of 10 every single time.
I didn't even know they played lacrosse.
Yeah, it's a national sport.
Did you play lacrosse too?
No, it was on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Okay.
And some of the best lacrosse players came out of Canada. Huh. And so I tell people all the time, you want a quick $5 or $10 off for buddy or something?
Yeah. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Everybody in Canada plays hockey, knows hockey.
Just kind of like just something you do. You kind of pick up, start playing. Like when
I started skating when I was 2, and that was it. And the game of hockey ended up being a lot more than just a game to me. Finding out 32 years later with my learning disorders, it was my outlet. It was the only thing that I was good at. So it was something that's literally all I wanted to do.
So it's kind of like a little bit of an escape for you, something that like you kind of just grinded away at and kind of escaped in.
Any spare second that I could get away from, having to do homework or anything, that was straight on the ice and just had fun and didn't have to worry about anything else. So it was definitely a release.
When you first started skating, did you know like right away you were gonna be like really, really good, or did you just think like I'm just gonna start skating because every Canadian skates?
Every Canadian skates.
Yeah.
Everybody. Even the girls now. There's more. I think just about as many girls teams as there is boys teams around.
Yeah.
Back there wasn't there. All the girls were playing something called ringette.
I don't know.
You Americans don't even know what that is. It's literally you play with there's a hockey stick upside down and there's a ring. So that's what they were all playing.
Oh, yeah. Do you try and
So
catch the ring
catch
with
it? It was the ring would slide on the ice, but so they're doing that. So or figure skating.
Yeah.
But that's literally you're not going to find
Still
any American or any Canadian that hasn't skated in some capacity and. That's all we do. Got nothing else in the winter when it's minus 40.
So were you always better than all of your friends skating growing up? Or?
Yeah. When I started, starting getting a little bit older, I've been this height, 6'1", about 250 now, since I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking I was going to be. I think I was going to be 6'3", 6'4", and I haven't grown. I'm like, I got screwed.
At first, like, man, this is great. Now you're like, wait, I haven't grown that much anymore. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Exactly. This is bullshit. Come on.
Yeah. So you started playing, and then you kind of knew that you were going to be really good. And you said it was kind of like your escape and stuff like that. And did you I've read a lot about you that you're big into routine. Like what does like routine mean to you? Like how is it so effective for you?
And I was big into routine, and I didn't really know why. The more that I figure out about my life and about dyslexia and that stuff, it makes more sense for me. We were told where to be from the time we were born.
Yeah.
School, you had to go to you had to go to class. So I, for all these years, I've been told where to be, what to be, how to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I was born and raised.
Yeah.
So whenever I got away from that routine, I was lost.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that structure, I need to be up at 6:30, had to get this done, had to be downtown by 8, had to get lost. And that was a really big part of my game. If I didn't have my routine, and a lot of guys looked at me like I was
crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that was hard, like on the road and being in different places.
And my routine was above and beyond anybody else's, and I really didn't know why until I was diagnosed with dyslexia. Then it really started. The pieces really started adding up. Why? Really, I felt like if I didn't do that routine every single time, I wouldn't be able to accomplish what I needed to that day. Practice or game or be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I think even as like entrepreneurs, one thing I talk about all the time. I'm also a king of routine. Okay, I do the same thing every day, all day. It's got to be a checklist. If it's not done,
he'll call me 100 times a day.
So it's done. Well, because I like to go check it off because it's part of my routine to get it done with. And I think I wake up every day at the same time. I do the gym the same day. It's, bam, bam, bam. And I think it's a great way, though. And I think, to me, I actually think it shows just how intelligent you are, because I think it shows you that if you do the same thing over and over again, you repeat it, you're bound to be more successful than other people, because you don't forget to do it. Yeah. And I think in today's day and age, people are just lazy, and they're like, for hockey players, like, I'm going to skate today and practice extra hard, but let me finish this show first. Or I'm going to go to the gym and work out before the next game, but then you're like, I'm not going to. And it's the guys who are on the ice every day at the same time, working out 7 days a week.
That's the world we live in now.
Right.
Everything at your fingertips, your cell phone dictates everything. Yeah. So I think it's even more crucial now, like you said, to have that routine, because you can sit in your phone and get lost for an hour without even knowing an hour's gone by.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's easier to not have a routine than have a routine. I think the people who have the routines are the ones that are successful. In every book that I've read about CEOs and CFOs and these guys that are bigwigs, I mean, they all kind of do somewhat of the same thing almost every day. I mean, granted, there's always going to be little changes here and there. For sure. Yeah. But if you stick to a schedule, I mean, it does kind of make you look a little crazy, but I've always read that the guys that are crazy are always the most successful.
Well, so. You take a look at the CEOs, look who's running, looking at, Amazon, you take a look at them there. They all the same routine. They all get up and do the same thing. Well, they don't get lost.
Exactly. I'm sure you've met some of the presidents of the teams. I'm sure they're not 100% all like, like guys that you'd be like.
I'd rather be not normal. I'm definitely the furthest thing from normal.
Than somebody like. What about advice? Would you give? What kind of advice do you have for people about like how much a routine can impact your life?
Oh, it changed my life. And I got, I played 18 years pro. I got through some tough times. And then when I left the game of hockey with no routine, I really noticed that, I know the difference. Yeah. And like we were just talking about, if you have that routine, you get up at whatever time, 6 a.m, and you go get your workout. Let me tell you, you don't do that, you're gonna feel off.
Yeah.
It'll ruin your day. Mm-hmm. You feel more accomplished. Yeah, we all can get in bed. We all can hit snooze. That's one thing I never did. Yeah. When my alarm went off, I got up.
Yeah. The snooze is the worst button you can have, man. It's you put your phone. I always say put your phone across the room. Yeah. Because that way you have to get up. Yeah. And no matter what, like my significant other, my wife, she gets really pissed off about it. But I'm like, hey, you know what? I get out of bed and I get it.
Now you probably wake up the baby.
That's a little bit of a different story now.
That starts barking. It's a whole routine every morning. I'm going to the gym, and she's like, "What the?"
Yeah, leave me all this, thanks, asshole.
But I'm just saying, like, it's a good way to kind of get your morning started. But so, what about in your career? So obviously, you're a super successful hockey player, and you started playing in the juniors, and then you went to the AHL, and then back to the juniors. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well. So at the end of I got drafted in 1995, the same year I graduated high school.
Wow. Did you know that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Do most people get drafted right from high school? Okay.
So I ended up being like a week apart from high school graduation, getting drafted in
That's
NHL.
Pretty badass.
So it was a good couple weeks.
Yeah.
We all get drafted right around that time.
Yeah.
Got drafted. The next season after my junior year, I got to go up. I signed a contract and got to go up to to the AHL and really just get a taste of what pro hockey was about. Yeah. Because it's a different animal than than it is living in junior hockey, living with another family. Went back down back for my last junior season, and then went back up. So every team usually does bring some young guys up, just gives them a taste, because it's. You're not living at home with another family. Right, you're on your own. I went from a small town, Swift Current, Saskatchewan, with like 10,000 people to Syracuse, New York, where cross country. Where am I? What am I doing? So it got me ready for when I was going to be turn pro full time.
Was that a tough adjustment though when you went from like a junior to an AHL?
It was definitely our eyes were wide open.
Yeah.
I was excited to get that taste, but there's a lot of things that like I said, a small town in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, with 10,000 people. Every single person knows who you are, what you are. And there isn't even an airport there. Yeah. You got to drive 2 hours to find an airport. And now you got Syracuse, New York. Syracuse basketball. Everybody knows where that is. It's completely different ball game. So it was good to get that taste for when it was going to be full time for me.
What about guys that juniors is a big thing for people who go into the NHL, but then there's nowadays people are playing in college and then go into the NHL. What's the difference? Do you regret not doing the college experience and going to juniors, or what's the easiest path to, well, I shouldn't say it's probably easier, but what's the most sought after route that people go there playing hockey?
Well, back in the day I was Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I was the VC era, beta. There was really no scouts, and there wasn't really a line of path coming from college. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the education, I didn't have the smarts, which found out later with my dyslexia.
Right.
I would have never made it through college. I would have enjoyed the college life for sure.
Yeah.
I would have left my stamp on the college for sure. So now I tell parents all the time. Yeah. If you go to college, go there 2-3 years.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, college is where you need it. You can't get a life without it. Yeah. Hockey lasts 5 years is the average length of NHL career. So you're done before you're 30. Guess what? Yeah. You got 50 more years to work.
Right.
So go get that education.
Yeah.
And if somebody's going to give you, Wisconsin or a BU or some Division I school where you get a degree of whatever, guess what? You can go get a job after.
Yeah.
And be successful for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's guys that go through junior that struggle because they don't have that. Unfortunately, it's a different time where you definitely need that degree, no matter what kind of business you want to get into.
Do you think a lot of people now are getting drafted more from from college to the NHL than they were before?
Oh yeah, no question. Now it's college is a route to go. Guess what? You can stay there a couple of years.
Yeah.
You can develop
so that's
a little.
The majority now. Yeah.
You could develop a couple more years. When I was 19 years old, I wasn't working out. Now you go to college, D1 school, where you're only playing. I was playing 72 games in junior.
Yeah.
College only plays 40. Guess what? You get to work. One, you get your education.
Yeah.
You get that routine. You figure that side of your life out. But you develop 2 extra years of junior of working out.
And a little bit less on your body, too. 40 to 72 is a big for anybody who's ever played hockey. I grew up playing hockey nowhere near the level you did. But, I've broken ribs, separated shoulders, and, it's a tough sport. When people tell me, basketball is tougher than hockey or something like that, I think it's, almost embarrassing,
I'm living right now. Both my knees need to be replaced. Both my hips are bad. Surgery, and I got 3 herniated discs.
But that's got to be better, though, knowing that, you're only doing half the games, though, in college and junior.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah, you play Friday, Saturday, and get Sunday off. Guess what? Now you got Monday through Thursday to work out. Mm-hmm. Build on your strength, build on your conditioning, your flexibility, all these things in junior that we never got to. I think junior, my longest bus trip was 24 hours.
Wow.
On the bus.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't get that in college.
Yeah.
You get on the plane and fly an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Right
yeah.
So when you went from the AHL to the NHL, when was that point where you knew that you were going to make that leap from the AHL to go to the actual to the pros?
It's I never really never knew that one that was going to be. There's a difference between turning pro and being a career minor leaguer or making that jump and staying.
Because there's got to be a lot of people that you met that were just career AHL guys.
Oh,
that's all they were going to be.
I could go on forever.
Yeah.
The difference between a guy playing in the AHL or a guy that makes a step and makes the NHL and sticks it there, it's 2 different ball games. So I had some call ups and did well, but it's all about timing, and I got the opportunity, and I kind of ran with it, and that's what it is. I had a few coaches and GMs that liked me, and when I had my opportunity, I tried to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a lot of people in the NHL that could easily be in the NHL, but it's just a timing thing?
There's no question. What organization you're part of.
Yeah.
If let's say you're a D-man, all right, do they have enough D-men?
Yeah.
Is there a couple ahead of you? Mm-hmm. Everything's timing. Yeah. It's no different for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about finding that right buyer.
Yeah.
Did that right buyer walk in that day?
Yep.
Yeah. Or when the lease was up. It is. I think timing, just in general in life, in every business, can either ruin your life or make your life. It is the most craziest thing in the entire world. Everything
happens for a reason. Everything's timed out for a reason. Totally. God's got to lay it out. Know what it is. It's good thing, if I didn't have that coach and GM that liked me at that point in time, would I played that long?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you're just kind of like, because I'm sure that there's a lot of guys that you ran into that were kind of just like, they had the dream, they thought they were going to do it, it didn't happen, and they're just like, that's it, I've had enough. Was there ever a point when you're in the AHL and just like, you know what, I want to give up?
Well,
Did you ever have that feeling?
There was, when I got sent down in September, I got called back up in February of September 98. I got sent down. The coach just ripped me anew.
Yeah.
Just screaming and yelling at me, telling me how much I suck.
Yeah.
You'll never be in the NHL again. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. So, at that point in time, I'm like, I'm going to go down and I'm going to be stuck down here.
Right.
But, I went down there, played well, and him and I had a love-hate relationship, and called me back in February and never left. That was February '99 and never left again. So,
but it just shows you about persistence, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could have easily just said, "Fuck it," this is who I am, and maybe
I'm sure a lot of people do that.
right, engulfed in your demons, or believed in like the can'ts.
Well,
like it'll never happen.
The one thing that I had is the mental side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you a mental midget?
Right.
Mentally weak or not?
Yeah.
The mental side of whoever you are, whatever your business, is the strongest part of your body. If you get up in the morning, you tell yourself you're tired. Guess what? You're tired.
Yeah.
Are you a glass half full person or half empty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I think you could do anything that you want if you put your mind to it. That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
And
that's like our business too. I mean, it's ups and downs all day long.
The roller coaster. I fucking love the roller
Hey,
coaster line.
life's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, get on, hop on the ride.
Yeah.
How you handle the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, people ask us all the time, like, how do you manage to do the business and stuff like that? And I say, I love the lows just as much as I love the highs.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it puts about being a little bit messed up in life. I might play a little bit. But like, it gets you, it drives me. Those downs drive me to get better.
Well, you should learn more from the downs and the ups.
100%.
And that's what, I learned so many things in my lows.
Right.
Okay, why am I here?
Right.
How am I handling it? Why did I get here? What mistake did I make to get to this point?
Exactly.
What did I say? What did I do to get here?
But that's a big thing, though, is like that you've had, the intelligence to be able to understand, to reflect and improve on what you were weak at, and then try to get better at it. Whereas nowadays, kids, if you don't get the first place trophy, they just give up.
But no,
that's
give first place trophies.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
No, and it drives me absolutely crazy. My kids are past up. Listen, not everybody gets a trophy. Yeah. Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Life is a bitch.
So,
guess what? Everything is wins and losses. Your job.
Yeah.
Relationship. You want to date that pretty girl. Guess what? Yeah. You got to compete against all the other guys.
Right.
That's what life is. So why does everybody get a ribbon?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it goes back to like even what you're saying about like reflecting and improving on your weaknesses, and then you become stronger because of them. And I think nowadays, people are getting weaker because of that, because we're not giving them the opportunity to fail.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest mistake that kids are having right now. And for everybody that's listening out there, is understand that like failure is not a bad thing. In fact, I fail at least once a day, and it sucks and feels like shit, but I look back and say, why did I mess up? And then what can I do in the future to never feel this way again?
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Never.
And nobody's perfect. No relationship's perfect. No job's perfect.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this world that is perfect.
Right.
So you have to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
Those kids, guess what? If you're in grade 1 and you didn't get that, sorry, Susie, Johnny, whatever. You got to work harder next time.
Exactly.
Set them up. Learn at a younger age. Now, we send them into middle school. Mm-hmm. Never been failed. Never let down. Yeah. Now they're getting let down.
And then they go into the real world. And
12, 13 years old, 14 years old, they're getting let down. Now they're, you got the depression.
But that's what I say. I think depression's a little bit higher than normal because of it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So, and what about that? Like, in speaking about that, kind of, the highs and lows. I mean, you've moved around a lot. You even said that, your nickname was Sam Snipe. You said you moved around.
Or you could have been my personal realtor everywhere I went.
Man, you've been a great client. How many times going back to Chicago? Like, just keep going. But when you moved around a lot, mentally, did it have a big mental toll on you at all? Like, always getting traded and stuff like that?
That was part of the business. Did it suck? Yeah, absolutely. It really sucks, especially when you had a family, and that's one thing people ever know. Oh, it's great, you get to go here. Well, if you got a family, I get traded. For an example, I was in LA, got traded to Vancouver at the deadline. I got the call at 4:00. In the evening, I was on the 6 a.m. flight and playing the next day.
Wow. How does that? We were talking about this with when they're talking about all these basketball players getting traded and stuff, and I was always wondering, how do you get told? Do you get brought into an office, they sit you down, or are you just like, hey, you're catching this flight, you just got traded?
Well, it all depends on where you are. If you're in the rink, they'll pull you in and say, hey, we just traded you to so and so, so and so from this team is going to call you, and you guys will plan your flights. So,
what's that like? Do you see your your clients, your teammates? Like is that like how does that go down?
Again, one thing that people have to remember, it's not a sport.
Yeah, it's a business, right?
It's a business.
Yeah.
We're entertainers. You come to watch us to be entertained.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at it in a different light. That's, we're entertainers, and if we're not entertaining and we're not being a good product on the ice and making you happy, guess what? We're gone.
Yeah.
And they don't care who we are, what you are, what you're doing. Are you making the money?
Yeah.
And so every time I got traded, I got the phone call. At home, I just got traded. Go back, tell the family I got traded, go pack some bags, and I'm gone. And that's the thing. You don't see that. You see your family. If you have kids that are in school again, you may not see them for 2, 3, 4 months, depending on what situation is, where you are, what's going on.
How many times did you actually move when you were traded? Like actually.
I just had this conversation with somebody. I've probably moved between 30 and 40 different times.
Wow.
Between I was in Vancouver with the organization for 10 years. So when I was living in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That was pre-Olympics. So I think I moved like 10 or 15 times while I was there. And now Chicago, after getting divorced 2 or 3 times, and over to Russia. And then, so I'm a pro mover. Yeah, like I said.
Is all your stuff still like in garbage bags, just waiting to get moved? Like, I know you're past the NHL, but you still like the fear.
Back being single, I get I don't need much anymore.
So obviously you must have then played with like a bunch of different guys. Like, did you what was the greatest like teammate you had? Like, and I'm not trying to like get anybody in trouble, but like there's certain guys who are just like you could still call on today, and like you guys are still friends and stuff.
The one thing here, and when we won in 2010, was probably the closest type team that I've ever been a part of. You always have, that's a tough thing. You had 23 different personalities.
Yeah.
And you have to manage them, and how do you manage them?
Yeah.
Right. Everybody wants to be doing different things, wants to be going here or whatever. Yeah. So that whole team is something where we could all call each other right now. Yeah. That's why we end up winning.
Too. Yeah.
I mean, did you guys kind of know that you guys were all kind of like gelling pretty well? Like I kind of compare it to like when you're just kind of like in a group of like people and you just know you're having a good time, and like nobody wants that energy to kind of like go away.
No, and talked to guys after we left, and they got rid of I think 10 or 11 of us because of the salary cap issues.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
They end up winning, a couple more times, but it just didn't have that same feel as it did that year.
Yeah.
Like what was it like then? Like winning a Stanley Cup was.
I won the Stanley Cup a million times on the outdoor rink back home.
Yeah.
And
10 seconds left.
Like every other kid. And, But for me, it was towards the end of my career. I knew I was going to get one shot.
Yeah.
And to say that I have won it, and I got the Stanley Cup ring, got to go to the White House, which is
that's cool.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Canadian that. We only had a couple canoes and a couple tugboats, and we don't have much going on over here. We're Switzerland over there, so it was awesome. It's the fact that I can go to. I was in Toronto at the Hall of Fame and see my stuff there and see my name on there, and my kids. I get to see it. I think my name will be visual for 65 years on that Stanley Cup. So my kids can go and look at it and and see my name's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Now, what about like the city? Like, was it cool like having the city behind you? Because I remember like. And then, I'll never forget, like, one of my first memories, well, not one of my first memories, but, like, 97, I used to go to the games, all the time. It was I had a friend that was really rich, and then we'd always take us to the games. And we would always walk down and, like, literally sit on the glass, because there was almost nobody in the stands. Like, it was
you could
awesome.
run up and down.
Yeah, and there was nobody there.
We used to come here, when I played in Vancouver, we used to love coming to Chicago. We'd stay at the Drake. Go and party, you hit Ragged Triangle, have some fun. But then we'd be like, oh my God, we really have to go play hockey?
Yeah.
These guys suck.
Yeah.
There's nobody at the rink. Can't we just give them the 2 points and let us have, continue to have fun? So, I used come here all the time during that whole era.
Yeah, and then it switched. Like, what was it like having like playing in Chicago in the 9-10? Because I feel like even in like 9, you kind of sense that like we were gonna start. The year before they won it, like that. Yeah. You're like, man, I think this team's gonna be really good. And it was like I stopped watching for a little bit too. And I think it's almost felt like the Hawks organization gave up on the fans.
No, it's the Hawks organization didn't give up the fans. So, a lot of people, Mr. Roritz obviously isn't with us today, but he was an old school guy. He was a handshake guy. And he looked at it as saying that, if these people bought season tickets, why am I going to put it on TV? Because it's kind of a slap in their face. Yeah. They pay for these seats to come and watch. Why should everybody at home get to see it? Yeah. So he wasn't knocking he wasn't knocking the city, but he was just trying to respect the people that actually paid for those tickets.
Were we the only team that wasn't televised?
I think
yes,
I think
we were. Okay,
yeah.
We're the only one. Yeah. But he looked at it completely different. Yeah. All the other teams were. It was more of a trying to get the fans there, building the business. Yeah. And he wasn't do that. He was trying to be more loyal.
Yeah.
And
the actual fans.
It was loyal. Yeah. It was a loyal to the fault. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But once they switched that, when the change of guard happened, I mean, it was kind of like. Whoever did all the marketing job for it, though, I mean, it was pretty badass. Like, and even
the guys
to this
from
day,
the Cubs, right?
Yeah, John McDonough came in.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it even made, and I know, like, as a guy that grew up playing hockey, like a lot of my friends, because we'd go at Johnny's and playing.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's a bunch of girls that are watching the game and they don't even know what's going on. And I would always say that, like, I thought it was cool because, like, hey, if they like it too and they're gonna have their friends like it, it's only gonna make our team more popular and it makes the sport ultimately more popular. And when you like the sport, I think that's a win for the city.
Yeah, so Rocky Mortz, when his dad passed away, he got handed the team. The first thing he did was brought John McDonough and Jay Plunkett and two guys that definitely know the marketing side. And they'd been with the Cubs for 20 years or 22 years, so they knew how the city operated and they knew what to do. So they had a good sense of what they want to do. But when you get two guys like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane coming in at the same time, the way they did and who they are, build it off that. It was.
Did you guys know when they came to the organization that they were going to be that good?
Oh, you always know they're going to be good. Now, how good they're going to be, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're coming in
together. Yeah.
They're 18 and 19-year-old kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on 18 and 19-year-old kids. Can they handle it?
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to? There's many guys that never develop. Right. They can't handle the next level. Yeah. They may be good in junior, like we talked about before, but can they make it? Can they handle the pressure? Can they handle the 82 games? Can they handle travel? Can they handle Olympics? Can they handle playoffs?
Or what about like the lifestyle, even like getting the attention? It's like not falling off.
Some people can have it. It's and especially nowadays. Back then the cell phones were just starting to come out, and social media was just starting to build. And thank God I didn't have social media when I was younger. I would be locked down. I wouldn't be here anymore. So there's a lot goes in it. So all the stars aligned with them coming in, with Rocky taking over the team, bringing in John and Jay. So
it's timing again.
Yeah, it's going back to the timing thing.
Because if you only have one, Kane or Toews instead of both, guess what? You probably don't get what you have. So so they drafted two great players. Yeah. They didn't miss out on the draft. So it's there's no question. All the signs, timing was everything.
Now, you were a little bit older than them, obviously, when they came on the team. Did they kind of like go to you for advice, and did you kind of give them some advice on like how to like kind of act and stuff like that? And,
well, I think they're closer to age of my kids than they were to me.
You're like, hey, kid, get over here. Did you tell them to go to timeout ever?
You turn around, you face the corner. I'll tell you when you can leave. Yeah. I enjoy trying to help out. I'll help anybody. No matter where you are, who you are, what it is, I'll give you shirt off my back, and I'm not expecting back. So, I try to help out, all the guys. I was brought in here, here for being an older guy to come and help. The whole team was young. Duncan, Keith, and Brent Sopel, all these guys were young. So, anytime that I could throw something at them, words of advice or wisdom,
something you've been through too.
They were all great. They're all not only Kane and Toews, but everybody we had. The reason why we got along so well in 2010. Yeah. It's the reason why we broke that drought. It's just because everybody's open. Yeah. You tell them something, they took it. They didn't tell you to have a nice day and fuck off.
Okay. Big for it.
Yeah. We had none of that.
What about the city? Did you expect to see like a parade like that? Because I remember when it happened.
I'll never forget.
The city shut down.
It was literally like even when we were like here, because I will admit I was working that day instead of going to the parade, but I do remember even like when I was over here, like it was like a ghost town. Yeah. It was like, where is everybody? Yeah. And then like you'd walk close to the thing, you'd like hear in the distance. It was almost like a war. You see like in the distance like the red.
People
and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And there's just millions of people.
So that morning we met at the United Center. Yeah. We had team photos. Yeah. With the Stanley Cup and all the trophies. So we did all that. And they're talking about, they're going to be a big crowd, but none of us had any clue
That
what we're getting into.
Yeah.
No idea. We all get on the buses and start weaving our way, and I just like, holy shit.
It was probably like never ending.
It was never, as far as my eyes could see. Left, right, and even look up. I'm looking up like 45. They're hanging out their window. They're dropping all their papers, or shredded paper. I'm
that's cool.
No, I still think about that all day.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually on my daughter's birthday. I'm like, oh, look, they're all here for your birthday. See, look how special you are.
Though, again, it's about the timing and the fact that, like, Chicago is a huge sports city, and it's been so long. I mean, I don't really count the White Sox winning, but as a Cubs fan, but it's been so long since, like, one of, like, your big teams have won anything big, and the Hawks have been a staple in Chicago for, so long. And when they won with the perfect team, I think it kind of the city showed the support of like how excited they were to finally have something.
There's no question. If you take a look at St. Louis just winning, and I think they had 500,000 people, and it's what they say between 2 and 3 million. It literally was as far as I could see the people, and I still think about it all the time. I really do, because the city definitely got behind.
Did you have your whole family with you?
Yeah, they're all on the bus.
This is daughter's birthday. That's
That's
like a great thing for her for the rest of her life. They're like, what's your best birthday? Be like, I was like with 3 million people celebrating. Like,
I was talking to her the other day about it. She goes, Dad, what do you think? I'm not dumb. They weren't for me. I think they were, honey.
So, nowadays, obviously you're not in the NHL anymore. What was the biggest pivot? Like the biggest challenge of going from, being on a high of like being in that parade scenario to then being like, okay, now I have to, get on with everyday life.
Well, the real world is it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
It's I retired from the game 4 years ago. It's been the hardest 4 years of my life.
Yeah.
Because it's something I did. I always use this as an example. Listen, if you're a CEO of a company, you're 70, 75, everybody's like, okay, you know what? Start taking a step back, whining. We don't get that chance. The door gets slammed in our face.
Yeah.
And, I played hockey for 40 years.
Yeah.
And, so you don't become a CEO till you're, in your 50s, usually 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Guess that it takes you your 70 or 80. Door gets slammed in your face. And, that's, it's a different ballgame. Didn't go to school.
Yeah.
My education with my dyslexia doesn't take me past probably grade 8. So trying to enter the real world, not having that education, not having that work experience, having a learning disorder, it's been, it's been definitely a trying 4 years, but it's, it's that roller coaster you talk about. You figure it out.
What about, like, do you have advice now, like, kind of being out of it for 4 years to give athletes, kind of like being like, hey, I wish I would have known this. This is something I would prep for, kind of moving forward.
I definitely would have prepped more about for the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You never want to, walk into a marriage and ask for a prenup. But, here it is. Hockey, the average career of hockey is 5 years. Yeah. So if you play in the NHL for 5 years, you're not going to have $1 million in your bank account.
Yeah.
So guess what? You got to work 40 more years.
Right.
So instead of, I'm not telling you you have to do, give up on your dream. Don't give up, but make sure there's a piece of you that is getting, understanding what the end is going to be. And,
do you think a lot of the players are kind of like living in denial a little bit? Like they don't want to face that this could happen to them?
None of us do.
Yeah.
And we all expect and hope that it lasts forever. Yeah. That we get to work forever and that we'll play the game that we love forever. But, that's the door that gets slammed in our face.
Are people's like agents or anything like that try to help them out, or are they more trying to take more of the money off?
The agents are more trying to deal with their contracts. And, there isn't a lot of people dealing with the end. And it's tough. Like, for example, with my learning disorders, my education doesn't take you past grade. Everybody's like, oh, why don't you go and coach? Well, there's only, 1 or 2 coaching jobs a year.
Yeah.
So we've done something very specific for our whole life.
Yeah.
So to enter the real world, it's, it's a whole different ballgame. So
I'm just wondering, like, why they haven't, and maybe they do, like, but I haven't heard of anything mainstream, like, where there's not, like, a business that, like, teaches these guys that, like, be like, this is what you should be doing prepping, like, every year you should do this, like, there's meetings for it. Like, is there anything for that?
There's some things like that, guys that are trying to break ground a little bit, but it's tough. Guys are so focused on, what they want, their task at hand is making the NHL or staying in the NHL that a lot of the guys, don't veer off and want to spend that extra 10%, learning or seeing what, what you want. I've talked about trying to start something to help those guys, internships of, maybe a day or two here to see what the real world's like, because it's, it's completely different than what we've done.
Well, hockey's a business, though. You know what I mean? And like you said, the guys. I mean, I don't, mean in a great way, but you said that people are entertainers in the thing, right? So like the reality is that people have to know that if you start planning now and at least learn what can happen, you're setting. Let's say you do have a 10-year career. By the time you're done, like maybe you actually don't have to join the real world because you learned ahead of time. You saved for the future. You did something for the future. So I'm just surprised that there's not a bigger push to like help these people out, because I read all the time, even like with the NFL contracts and all that stuff, that like people are just like, they're bankrupt, or like they do the specials on that.
And when it comes to the bankrupt and stuff, is that you see these big contracts, but they're not that big, in relative terms to those numbers, taxes, agent fees. So if you play in 20 of the 31 NHL cities, if you make $1 million, you're only going to come home with 200,000.
Yeah.
So there's, yes, no,
and then
we're
people want to live a certain lifestyle, and
and that's your agents. Yeah. That's you're paying your taxes.
Yeah.
That's paying your escrow in the NHL, all these things.
Yeah.
That's not even cost of living.
Yeah.
So, yes, my contract says $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm not coming home with $1 million.
Yeah.
So for these guys to go bankrupt and that kind of stuff, it's not hard, because those big numbers aren't there. That's not That's not what you come home with.
Right.
And then, you've got your house, and you've lived a certain lifestyle for X amount of time, and you're trying to keep that up. And then, 65% of guys get divorced after their career.
Yeah.
Exhibit A. And, then you've got 50% there. You got kids, you got child support. So that ends up being 65, 70% of that. So, do
you think like some NHL players though, and I've always been curious, it's just like professional athletes in general, do you think some of them like maybe feel like they're losing face if they leave that? Because like you said, you could be 35, even 20, you could be 30 when you get out of some of these sports. And you got to go get a normal job, right? "Quote unquote" normal
Correct.
job. Do you think they feel like, hey, I'm too good for this normal job? Do you think there's a lot of the mentality? Or
no, I don't think it's too good. It's never done it before.
Got it. Yeah.
They've never had to. So
right.
And trying to find that normal job, like for myself, my education doesn't take me past grade 8.
Right.
With my dyslexia. So how do I get a normal job?
Right.
Nobody wanted to hire me.
Right.
Well, you don't have your education, you have the work experience. So I don't think it's too good.
Yeah.
You think something you're just interested in other than hockey.
Yeah. People, what do you like to do? Especially when you get the financial issues, that's driving you down a rabbit hole, because I don't know what I like, because I'm so focused on other things that I need to try and take care of. So I wouldn't put it to, there's no question some guys can be, I'm too good for that.
Right.
I think you'll come across that in any business. But,
totally.
For the most part, it's just, all right, what I want to do, and who's going to give me that opportunity?
Right.
Can I do it? Can I learn it? Because it's a completely different learning curve than what we're used to learning.
Totally. So what about like today? Like how involved are you in hockey today?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I stepped away from it. I had a lot going on, with figuring out who I am, and obviously got divorced, and having kids, and fun with my dyslexia, and spent some time in rehab, almost 3 years sober. So there's a lot. Started my own charity foundation for dyslexia.
Yeah.
It's you just had I had to step away and figure out what who I am and what things are.
When did you find out like that you had dyslexia? Like, when was it coming?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah. So I got my daughter tested, and that's we went back for the results, and it's like, oh, that's me. So
you're like check. Yeah.
So that's how I know. So 32 years of my life, I had no idea what was going on and why.
Did it kind of make you feel a little bit better that you finally kind of understood what it was?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, really? I guess I wasn't that dumb. Maybe there was some purpose behind it. So, it was good to find out. It was good to find out at a young age, for my daughter, so we could get her help and things like that. But it was nice too. But it's definitely been a struggle for me for sure.
What would you tell parents that know about or how to try to find the symptoms for dyslexia?
Well, dyslexia is, there's a lot of people that have it's 1 in 5.
Wow.
1 in 5 have it.
That's a lot.
And it's hereditary.
Yeah.
So it's, and 75 to 25% guys over girls. what the big thing is that if you catch it at a young age, no problem. You know, some of the richest people, Steve Jobs, Jennifer Aniston, Tom Cruise, Albert Einstein, supposed to be the richest, smartest guy in the world. He had it.
Yeah.
So if you catch it at a young age, you know, no problem at all. But it's if you don't catch it at a young age, self-esteem issues get there because you're getting told that you're dumb, you're stupid.
Yeah.
65% of them are addicted to something because you start coping with.
Are teachers these days learn to look out for it more?
No, it's you know that's why I started my foundation.
And what is the foundation?
You know, the Brent Sopel Foundation, you know, for dyslexia is just because awareness is, you know, like you said, when I say 1 in 5, people are like, oh my God, it's that much. You know, cancer's 1 and 2. Next in line is dyslexia, and it's hereditary. Not all cancers are you know, hereditary. So,
what's the charity been trying to accomplish since it's been started?
Here in Chicago? One is awareness.
Yeah,
you know, a lot for awareness, and 2 is getting these kids that are diagnosed with it trained in something called Wilson Reading Program. So we're trying to get have our foundation get these teachers trained in the Wilson so that they can get back to these kids.
Yeah.
You know, we figure about 20-some thousand kids in Chicago public schools have it.
How are you trying to like pair up with like the teachers and stuff like that?
You know, it's I got some people on my board that work for Chicago public schools, and so it's, you know, the problem is that dyslexia is so new. You know, it's autism's 1 in 70.
Wow. I feel like autism is like much more mainstream.
And that's the struggle that we have, you know.
And I don't mean that like in a bad way. I just mean like I feel like I've heard autism more than I heard dyslexia.
100%. And that's kind of where the struggle is.
That's where the Brent Sopel Foundation comes in play.
You know, the problem is that people don't see dyslexia. You know, you look at somebody, if you're blind, you're going to get more help. And the problem is that it's inside you, so you can't really notice it.
Yeah, it's not like a cut on your arm.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I'm sure a lot of kids too are too scared to even explain. Like,
and that's what it is a lot of embarrassment.
Yeah.
You know, 50% of the people in prison in the world have dyslexia.
Really? That's pretty big.
So, you know, when everything I hear going on the South Side, I look at it completely different.
Yeah.
You know, guess what? Because I know half those kids are dyslexic.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get a job if you can't read. If you struggle in math, you still get a job.
Yeah.
So what? You know what? Guess what? You gotta eat. You gotta survive. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Because I would be doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, I'm lucky that I'm alive today. Really. You know, with what I was getting myself into. So it's just doing a lot of, you know, talking to people, trying to raise awareness, and you know, hopefully at some point in time we'll do a documentary.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's my goal here coming, you know, down is to help these kids and never let them feel the way I do and struggle every day.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, you had the escape of being able to play hockey, and you know, fortunately, you were very, very good at it. But you know, maybe that's why a lot of the people did go to prison, stuff like that, because they didn't have that, you know, chip on their shoulder, being the best player they could be and stuff like that. They weren't, you know, given the opportunity and stuff like that.
You know, and it's finding that one thing you're good at, and that's why I think I said earlier, hockey ended up being more than just a game to me.
Yeah.
You know, that was my outlet. There's a lot of people that don't have that. You know, you get a lot of musicians, you know, like I said, Jennifer Aniston, Tom Cruise,
actors,
you know, a lot of actors,
Yeah.
you know, the creative side of things, but how do we get them to use that creativity side, you know, down the line, you know, so they don't get themselves in trouble.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, anything we can do to help, we would love to help out with too. And we have what we call the Fast Five, where the co-host asks 5 questions.
All right.
You ready?
Not too
Let's go.
All right. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Work hard. You know, your hard work is always going to, you know, at the end of the day, overtake your talent.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good one. Do you love to win or do you hate to lose?
This is my favorite question.
I love to win, but I learn more from losing.
Okay.
It's actually a really good answer. Who is your biggest hero?
You know, that's a good question because, yeah, I would have to say as a kid growing up, I looked at every single hockey player, not just one, all of them. They were where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't care who I was watching, if I could just be one of them.
Yeah.
You know,
you just want to have the jersey on.
That's it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
We're in Chicago, so I can fly over this damn traffic every single day.
Hey, but flying is great, man. You can get anywhere. Yeah.
Why this traffic? I'm telling you, it's aging me.
Yeah.
And last question: what makes you Chicago?
From Canada.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I lived in LA. I lived in New York. I lived in Atlanta.
You think Chicago has the worst traffic?
By far.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I see. I thought LA is way worse than Chicago.
But if you're going reverse commute, you can get through, right?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
No,
There's
no reverse
Well,
commute.
we just drive around the city, so everything's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
we live in like a little bubble.
Yeah, you guys
Go
in
to
this.
the highway traffic.
For me, I got to get. I'm 20 miles and minimum of an hour.
Yeah.
I gave myself an hour and a half this morning.
Yeah.
20 miles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It should be 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. So
that's the saying.
Yeah, that's.
Not here.
All right. So where can people find you, and what would you want to plug?
Yeah, it's obviously everybody knows the social media, but BrentSopelFoundation.org is my website. For dyslexia, that's I know that's my life school. I've gone through a lot. I know that's going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life is trying to help these kids and get that that notoriety. So any questions you can get on me, you can find on there. I get calls around the world. This doesn't discriminate against age or race. Or, we figure about 40 million adults here in the U.S. have it.
Wow.
Only 38 million know. Only 2 million know.
Wow. So 38 million that don't know.
Correct.
That's crazy. All right. Well, make sure to turn into our next episode and subscribe to our podcast. Thanks for listening to the Matt Laricy Project. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, follow us on Instagram, and like us on Facebook.